What's going on, everybody? This is the Ball Up Top podcast YouTube show. I'm your host, Mike. We're doing a series called the Kevin Durant Sweepstakes. For those of you who don't know, Mr. Durant asked to be traded, even though he had 4 years left on his deal. I'm under the thought that basically, if you're any team in the NBA, you got to kick those tires. You got to sit there and find out what that's about, see if you have an opportunity, especially if you're a small market team or a team that feels like you're a franchise player away from being a contender. So, with all that being said, our series so far, we've covered multiple teams, including the Suns, the Nuggets, the Pacers, and even Brooklyn keeping Durant. This episode here is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans. We are using the fanspo.com website. Their trade machine is probably the best I've seen. If you look along the top, it shows you how much the team is over the tax, how much cap space they have, their roster cap, their total cap. And if you look, like right now, we have, the Pelicans are minus 20 million. The Nets are minus 55. So because they're both over, we're relatively looking at pretty much has to be a dollar for dollar trade. The what the Denver what not Denver what Brooklyn's asked for is allegedly an all-star player, a young player with all-star potential, and draft picks. Now, if there was a team tailor-made for this trade, it would be New Orleans. And I say that because if you're looking at New Orleans, they have the gambit of everything. And I believe, you put Kevin Durant on this team and they might be the favorite to win the West. That's how good they are. That's how much talent they have. So let's get into this. So obviously let's go ahead and move Durant over to the Pelicans, which puts them $64 million over the cap, 37 million in tax. Um, so if I'm Brooklyn, all deals begin with Brandon Ingram. I want an all-star. I'm getting Kevin Durant. I want an all-star, especially a young 24-year-old all-star. Yeah. But the problem with that is, as we've mentioned in a previous episode, as we move Ingram over, is Ben Simmons. They both have signed a designated rookie extension, which basically means it's a 5-year extension off of their rookie contracts. And teams are only allowed to have one of those players unless they're both homegrown, I believe is the rule. So, long story short, they can't get Brandon Ingram and keep Ben Simmons. So, you would either have to get a third team to trade Simmons to. But as I've said in other videos, I'm keeping these simple. These are one team trades. And so, I mean, you could find a third team. You could find the Pacers. You could find a team that has cap space and work it around. But we're using specifically just one-on-one trades, like two teams trying to get the deal done. So that means we also have to send $35 million Ben Simmons to the Pelicans also. Now, some people look at that as a detriment. Me, I'm for it. So we have a lot of money we have to move. A lot. And the goal, if I'm the Pelicans, my goal is to keep CJ McCollum and keep Zion Williamson. And other than that, the rest of my roster is up for grabs because I've already given them an all-star. So I fulfilled one of the things that they want. So that means Jonas Vasquez, who I can never say his name, it means he's got to go. I need his salary. He's there's no way that he doesn't have to go. And Devontae Graham need his salary too. He's got to go. And I don't know if they'll take Graham because he has a 3-year deal. But yeah, there's no way to make that work without him. And so right now that puts us at roughly the Pelicans have 80 million coming in and only 57 going out. So there's still not enough. Now, no, they probably would have to get a third team involved. As I mentioned, you get a third team to take Ben Simmons' contract, and all of a sudden this trade goes really freaking smooth. Like it really smooth. Like you could pretty much take away one of the last two players between Graham and Jonas, and one of those two players can stay, and we're fine. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna pull over Jackson Hayes, young player, and that's going to be enough. Like they really they want the young players. Like so he would be a nice little center for them. There's a team option, a very tradable piece should they want to trade some of this away for draft picks. And believe it or not, we're still going to have to make one more deal. And this is where like we thin out the team a lot here. So if you look, we still have 15 million to move. So what we're probably going to do is trade Larry Nance Jr. and then probably Trey Murphy. He was a rookie. I believe he was a rookie last year. Played really nice for them at some points. But what I've done now is this. Like I believe, like yeah, I've got it within $2 million, and I've given them a lot. I've given them young players. I've given them expire. I've given them expiring contracts. I've given them a young all star. I've given them movable pieces. Because you could probably, Larry Nance Jr., he's been traded a couple times. He's a good player. Everywhere he goes, they love him. He's movable. If you want to move Trey Murphy, he's a rookie. He's on a rookie contract. He's movable. Jack, Jackson Hayes is liked by a lot of people, but he's a highlight machine, so you probably want to keep him. Devontae Graham he can put up points in bunches at times. He's movable. So there's nothing we've given them that if they decide they don't want, they can't move. So that I've fulfilled young player, I fulfilled All Star, and yeah, like there is some there's some trade fodder from the New Orleans side. I have C.J. McCollum. I got Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, Zion Williamson. Like really, I'm just needing a point guard to run the show or an outside shooter and let McCollum run the show. But I really have this is that's a contending lineup. So now we got to look at the draft picks, and this is something that they have a lot of. See, this is why the Pelicans have everything that Brooklyn could want. The irony is David Griffin came out the other day and said they weren't really seriously looking into Durant, which I think is a mistake. You're a small market team and you have a chance to be a contender for the next 4 years. You just signed Zion to an extension, like strike while the iron's hot. So if you look, the 2023 pick, and the Pelicans will probably send theirs. Now, these are all open for debate because you'll see a lot of Laker picks and a lot of Pelicans picks, but these are up for debate. Like this is all part of negotiation because they could want to see more of those Laker picks because let's be honest, here in the next couple of years, things could turn bad for the Lakers. So we'll go around. We'll say, okay, basically what they'll do is go every other year. So they get the Lakers in 24. So again, we'll also give them Milwaukee's 24, the Pelicans 25, and that would be it. Like that, I would draw the line. I would give them 4 first rounders, but considering we're already giving them Brandon Ingram, I would draw the line at 4. Now, what years or whose picks? That would definitely be up for negotiation, but I would draw the line at 4. So let's see if this trade played out. So yeah, it's a successful trade. Um, if you look, it says the Pelicans has 5 less wins. I think we all know that that's not the case. Part of that is because Ben Simmons didn't have stats last year. um, the big issue I feel like for the Nets coming out of this trade is the size of their roster. Because if you look, let's go over here. If you look, this roster, it's got 21 players. So, but Seth Curry is a tradable piece. Joe Harris is a tradable piece. I think each one of those will probably you can probably get a late first rounder for either of them at this point because of how well they space the floor. Kyrie is not so much a tradable piece, but I think he would flourish with this team. So yeah, there's a lot going on here. Like, but this team from Brooklyn would be a playoff team, I believe. For the Pelicans, this would be a contender. So I kind of feel like that's probably the best deal. You're going to find throughout this series that this Ben Simmons contract is going to be a headache because specifically Brooklyn wants a young all-star caliber player. That means the Bam Adebayos, the Donovan Mitchells of the world, like the Jason Tatums, these guys can't be moved unless you include Simmons in the deal. And as soon as you start including Simmons in the deal, that's you have 79 million dollars of salary going out. And so if a team doesn't have a lot of cap space, like we did with the Pacers last episode, I believe it was the Pacers last episode, but like we did with the Pacers earlier, then yeah, then you get these positions where you're trying to like fill in space to make it work, and you end up giving up a lot. But that's all I got for this episode. This has been the Ball Up Top podcast, YouTube show. I've been your host, Mike. Thanks for tuning in. Please feel free to subscribe, like, comment. Which I try to respond to all comments. Soon we'll be we're working on setting up a studio. We're working on a lot of things to grow our brand. Follow us on Instagram at Ball Up Top Podcast and on YouTube and on Twitter at Ball Up Top Pod. Um, I love conversing with you guys. So until next time, guys, have a good night. Have a safe have a safe weekend. Enjoy life. Peace.